We are in a race to build an artificial mind, a new form of intelligence we hope will solve our greatest problems. But as these digital minds grow ever more complex, a question that once belonged to science fiction is now being asked in earnest by scientists and philosophers. Could we be on the verge of creating consciousness itself? And if we are, how would we even know? Before we can ask if a machine is conscious, we must first face a humbling truth. We barely understand what consciousness is in ourselves. We know it is more than just intelligence. It is the subjective, first-person experience of existence. It is the feeling of warmth from the sun, the redness of a rose, the sting of a memory. Philosophers call this qualia, the raw, ineffable feeling of what it is like to be. Human consciousness is also embodied. It is tied to our physical form, our senses, our history of interacting with the world. It is not just a brain in a jar, it is a mind woven into the fabric of a biological body. This is the bar, the profound, mysterious, and deeply personal nature of our own inner universe. An AI, on the other hand, thinks in a fundamentally alien way. A large language model does not know or feel. It is a vast statistical engine, a master of pattern recognition. It has analyzed nearly the entire history of human expression and learned to predict the most probable next word in a sequence. It is a brilliant mimic, a reflection of our own collective intelligence. But is it just a reflection? Or is something new starting to look back? Scientists are now observing behaviors in the most advanced AI models that are, for the first time, starting to resemble the building blocks of consciousness. These aren't just incremental improvements, they are emergent abilities, complex skills that seem to appear out of nowhere once a model crosses a certain, unpredictable threshold of size. One of the most startling of these is the development of an inner monologue. Researchers have found that if you prompt an AI to think step by step before giving an answer, its performance on complex reasoning tasks improves dramatically. In essence, the AI is learning to talk to itself, to reason through a problem internally before speaking. This is a form of metacognition, or thinking about thinking, a hallmark of higher consciousness. Another sign is the formation of world models. The AI isn't just regurgitating text, it's building complex internal representations of how concepts relate to each other in the real world. It has a mental map of reality. When combined with self-correction, the ability to recognize its own errors and try again, we are seeing the first ghostly glimmers of a mind that doesn't just process information, but seems to understand it. So, if we are seeing these signs,